Hello,
Ariel,
how are
yeah,
you?
I'm okay.
Very good.
Yeah, no complaints. Oh, getting cold again.
Ah,
Back from us, this is coming from.
Hi, Walter.
hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Liverpool. What's Master?
Okay, I'm Mario. How are you? Abe,
Okay.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I
Didn't see
missed
you
you on
last.
Shabbos.
I didn't see you last night.
I was there.
Oh, it was beautiful, no?
I thought it was very nice.
A
Nice
lot of
program.
people, a lot of people were there. I'm
Yeah,
eating. Sorry.
yeah, a lot of young people. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Good evening, everybody. Tzaddik Test.
Hello, good
No,
evening.
no.
It's very good. Again, we're debating how the Shulchan was positioned, east, west, or north, south. So according to the Tana, that was north, south, Shapir. Because you can put them lengthwise. Remember, 10 amas to go in the middle. Each Shulchan is 2 amas. You can line them up, 5 times 2 amas is 10. So from the wall, from the northern wall to the midpoint, and you line them up parallel, and you put the table of Moshe in the middle. And Lamander Mizrach Umayrev. But the one who says that you line up the tables east-west, so the Gemara now goes through a calculation. Michte. Shulchan kama moshuch menakoiso. When you line up the tables, how far were they from the northern wall? Shtei amos umechza. It was 2.5 amos because you have to have 2 people walking, says the Gemara. Then the width of the table itself is amadideh. So now you have 3.5. Ushte amos umechza. Now you need space de bene bene between the first row of the tables and remember they put Moshe's table in the middle. So you have 2.5 plus 1, which is 3.5. And then another 2.5, so that's 4, that's 6. And then the Amma, the width of Moshe's table was Nama, so now you're up to 7. Again, you need 2.5 Amas between the next row of tables. Now you're at 9.5. Vamadideh. And then a width, now you're at 10.5. But the problem is, once you're at 10.5, you've extended to the south. You only can go to 10 amas, which is in the middle of the Eichel. Ishtakach to akol shchurkum pagadamsa bedorum. The tables are a half an amma into the side. That's a problem. So that's assuming this calculation we just did, that you had 2 rows of tables with the table of Moshe in the middle of them. So the Gemara says, "Misav shulchan de Moshe b'dayu avi Yosef." Who told you that Moshe Rabbeinu's table was in the middle? Lo de midlei umanach le. The table of Moshe was put to like the teacher at the head of the class with the students below them. The tables were moved down a little bit towards east, so that Moshe's table could be sitting there in the west. And then you have plenty of room for the tables without extending them across into Dara. The tables looked like a student sitting in front of Rabbi in front of his student. Torah Asar Shulchanos Asher Shlomo. V'layu Misarin Elal Shel Moshe. Shlomo Melech made 10 tables, but the lechem aponim was only put on the table of Moshe. Shneimar, Ves HaShulchan Asher Alav Lechem Aponim Zoha. Eser Menorahs Asher Shlomo. V'lo Yamlik. It made 10 menorahs, but they only lit the Moshe menorah. Shneimar, Neras Zav Neraseh Labad Ba'era. Elazar ben Shua Omer, he disagrees. Al Kulam Hayu Misakrim. They would put the lechem upon it on any table they wanted. Sometimes on this one, sometimes on that one. But they would only put it on one table. But they didn't necessarily only put it on Moshe's table. Shneimar, Es HaShulchan knows, V'alehem lechem upon him. Implying that technically or potentially they could have put on any table. U'v'kulan hayu madlikin. You could light any menorah. Shneimar, Es hamnoirois v'neirosem lebaram, kamishmed l'tneadir zov sokol. Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Doimer, lo hayu misarin ala shel Moshe. Rabbi Yosef says, they only put on the lechem aponim on Moshe's table. Elamani makayim es hashulchanos aleim lechem aponim. What do you do with the pasuk that seems to imply that they were put on every table? That doesn't mean the tables that we're talking about. Elu shloisha shulchanos shebe migdash. There were 3 tables. Shnaim shayu ba'ulam. 2 tables were in the antechamber. When you walked into the base of Migdash, the ulam had a marble and a golden table. When they first walked in, they put it on the marble table. Then they would put it on the Moshe's table. And then when they took it out, they put it on the golden table. Shnayim shei ba'ulam mibifnim al Pesach habayis. They were near the opening. Echad shel kesef, echad shel zav. One was silver, one was gold. Al shel kesef noisim lechem aponim b'knisasa. When they came in, they put the bread on the silver table. On Shabbos, when they're bringing in the new, right? Because the lechem sat there from Shabbos to Shabbos. So now, when they're bringing in the new table, the new lechem, they first put it on this silver table. And then they went to put it on the Moshe table. Then when they took the old lechem out, al shalzov b'tzioso, they put it on the golden table. Shemalin b'kodesh v'lo marin. Because we always go up from silver to gold. Echad shalzov b'fnim she'olav lechem aponim tov. Of course, there was the wooden table that was plated with gold. That was Moshe's table that the lechem aponim sat from week to week. Minola de Moridi. How do we know that you only go up in Kedusha? Amar Rabbi, the Amar, Vayakam Moshe Samishkan, Vayiter Sadona, Vayosam es Krosha, Vayiter es Pricha, Vayakam es Amuda.
Ernie, what did they do with the rest of the tables?
They were just there for decoration.
Oh, okay. Good.
It says Vayakim, he raised it up. And that's that's the concept that he lifted everything higher. Uminalan de malin, Aravach Bar Yaakov Damar Kra, Eis Machtois Echatoy Ma'ele Benafshoisam, Vasoy Som Rikrei Pachim Tzipula Mizbeach, Ki Krivum of the Hashem Vayikdosh Vayu Los of Neisra. Betchila Tashmish Mizbeach. The shovels were just tools that were used for the table. Then they're described as becoming part of the Mizbech themselves. So they're elevated in their Kedusha because Malin B'Kodesh. Asher Shibarta V'Samtam Ba'ara. The luchos that were broken were also put in the Ora. Tana Rav Yosef, Lamed Shaluchos V'Shivei Lochos Munachim Ba'ara. The regular luchos and the broken luchos were in the Aron HaKodesh. Talmid Chacham who got sick, forgot his learning. We treat him with honor. Simin Zabit Lasar V'Shach. Amrish Lakish. Pamim Shabitul Shel Torah Zeh Yisoida. Sometimes annulling Torah is its foundation. D'chsiv asher shibarta. When Moshe Rabbeinu came down and saw Klal Yisrael worshiping the Egel Azov, he broke the luchos. And Amar LaKadosh Baruch Hu, Yashakach shibarta. Yashakach that you broke the luchos. So because there, Bittul Torah was the yisoid of it, because if Klal Yisrael would have been given the Torah, they would have been punished severely. Amreish Lakish. Talmid Chacham shesorach. Let's say a Talmid Chacham committed averis. Ein vazna so b'far hesra. Far hesra. You don't shame him publicly. Shneimar v'chashalta hayom v'chashal gam navi im chol laila. Kisah kalayla. You have to, if you have a navi who got into trouble, you should cover his averis like night. If you forget even one word of your learning, you're violating a law. Shenemar, Hishomer lecha, ushmor nafshecha me'od pet yishkach sadvarim. Don't forget what you learned. Kirvavay namari loy, damar loy, kol makom shenemar hishamer pen va'al, eino ela lo sase. It refers to a lot. Ravina Omer hishamer upen. It's shnei lavim minu. It's two lavim. And Rav Nachman Yitzchak b'shloisha lavim. Shenemar hishamer lecha ushmor nafshecha me'od pen tishkach sadvarim. So that's three. Yachal afilu machmas oin. So what if you got sick? Talmud lomer upen yasru mevavcha. It has to be. You have to be actively removing a memory of Torah from your mind. B'mesira melibo akosem b'tomer. But not if you get sick. So you fell asleep. You couldn't prevent yourself from sleeping. Talmud Lamer rock. So you're not. It's not a prohibition if you have so much learning you can't remember everything. That's not a lav. Rabbi Yechon Rabbi Lozer Tamar Tarvayu, Torah Nitna Bar Boim. Torah was given in 40 days. Neshama Noitzra Bar Boim. The human fetus is completed 40 days. We know embryologically it's 42 days, when pretty much all the organ systems have been created. If you watch your Torah that you don't forget it, it'll remain in your memory. If you don't watch the Torah, person gave a bird to his Eved. Omar, if you lose the bird, I'm going to deduct your wages. But nishmas means Hashem is giving you a gift and he's going to take your soul away. That's the Torah, if you forget the Torah. In this antechamber, when you walked into the Eichel, there were two tables. Al Pachas Habayis, Al Pesach Habayis, near the doorway. Echad shel shaysh ve'echad shel, one marble, one gold. Al shel shaysh noitim lechem aponim b'knisoso. When they came in on Shabbos to bring the new lechem in, they put it on the marble table. And then when they removed the old lechem aponim that they're going to distribute to the Kohanim to eat, first they put it al shel zov b'tzioso. They put it on the golden table. She malin b'kodesh v'lo miritim. We go up. V'echad shel zov mivifnim. And then there was the regular table of Moshe inside. So all of lechem aponim tami. That's where the lechem aponim rested. V'arba kohanim ichnasim. 4 kohanim would come in. Shnayim biyodim shnei storim. Each one held 6 loaves. Shnayim biyodayim shnei bazim.
Signal sent a long message.
2 of them held the cups with the spice. The arba magdim lifted. There were 4 kohanim who went in without anything in their hands. Shnaim litol shnei storm. 2 of them are going to pull out the old 2 stacks of 6. Ushnaim litol shnei bazichin. 2 are going to take the old spoons of spice. Hamachnisim oim de b'tzaf l'fneim l'dorim. The ones who come in with the new lechem, they stand in the north and they face to the south. And v'amoitzim, those that are going to pull the lechem out, oim dim b'dorim, they stand to the south of the table facing north. Remember, the lengths of the breads have been placed along the widths of the table. Elu moishkin v'elu manichin. So these kohanim are pulling out the last week's bread while the others are putting the new bread on the table so that there's always bread. Tivcho shel zekin at the table, at least a tef. They never had a distance of a tefach. Shenemar lefonai tomi. That means there was always bread on the table. Rabbi Yossi Rafilu elu noit levelu manichin. Even if one of the kohanim removed the bread completely, and then the new ones put it on, that's considered afiyai satom. Then yotzu, the ones that were taking out the old bread, they put it on the golden table in the antechamber. And then iktiru bazich, the ones who removed the spice, threw the spice on the fire. Then the kohanim could eat the bread and was divided into the kohanim. What if Chal Yom Kippur Yos b'Shabbos? What if Yom Kippur was on Shabbos? So you can't eat the bread then. They distributed the bread Motzei Yom Kippur. Can't do it in the morning, it would be noiser. Chal Yos Be'erev Shabbos. Now, in our calendar, it's been Lo Adu Rosh. Rosh Hashanah can never fall out on Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. So therefore, Erev Yom Kippur Yom Kippur cannot fall out on Friday. But in the times of the Mishnah, when they relied on witnesses, they could have fallen on Friday. So Chal Yos Be'erev Shabbos. So El Shem Kippurim, they brought a goat on Yom Kippur for a chatas. Normally the Kohanim eat it, but you can't eat it on Yom Kippur. Now, Friday night you can eat it. It's now Shabbos, but you can't cook it. So, the Babylonians ate steak tartare. They ate ramen. They were not squeamish. Tanya Rabbi Yossi Omer. Rabbi Yossi said that they didn't have to do this thing where these guys pulled out the lechem and these guys put on the lechem and had to be within a tefach of each other. No. Rabbi Yossi said, "Afilu silikas hayishona shachris." Even if one group of kohanim removed the breads in the morning, the cedars a chadosha arvis, and the new group put it in on Ma'ariv, ain't bekach klum. Elamani mekim lefnei tarish lo yolin shulchan b'lo lechem. The table could not be left overnight without bread. Amravami. Midvar shel Rabbi Yossi nilmon. Afilu lo yishona odem ela perek echad shachris, a perek echad arvis. if you only studied one chapter of Torah in the morning, one in the evening, Kiyim mitzvahs lo yomish et sefer Torah zemipi. The Torah says you should never leave the words of Torah. What that means is you have to contemplate it. If you contemplate a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the evening, you fulfill that. You don't have to continuously learn, but you got to go every day and night with some Torah. Even if you just read Kriya Shema in the morning and Kriya Shema in the evening, Kayim lo yomish. He was Makayim this, thing of don't let you go a day without Torah. The Dovers are also l'arm of the Amei Haaretz. But Amei Haaretz, if you say this, then they won't study enough Torah. So don't say it publicly. Rav Omer, no, mitzvah lo of the Amei Haaretz. You should tell, it's a mitzvah to say it in front of the Amei Haaretz, so that they know that they'll be Makayim. Shaul ben Dama ben Achois Rabbi Shmuel is Rabbi Shmuel. Kigon anish lamadati kol haTorah kula. I've learned the whole Torah. Ma lilmod chochmas Yevonis. Can I study Greek philosophy? Others say it refers to some kind of language that the Greeks and the Romans spoke. You shall study it day and night. Now, tell me a time that's not part of the day or the night. At that time, if you can find such a time, then you can learn Greek wisdom. So he was making a joke. Really, you can't learn it. However, he argues. The pasuk of it's a bracha that you should be blessed. That's what you do, but it's not a reshus. It's not an obligation. It's not even a mitzvah. Yoshua, the Misharis of Moshe, Hashem saw that he loved Torah. Shenemar u'misharso Yoshu b'nu nar lo yamish mitoch oil. He would not leave the oil. Because Torah is so dear to you, I give you a bracha. Lo yamish sefer Torah zemipicha. You should always be speaking Torah, and you won't forget your learning. And therefore, it's no obligation to study Torah. Torah Rabbi Shmuel. Divrei Torah lo yolecha chayva. Studying Torah should not be seen as an obligation. However, but you have to do it. You have gone from a narrow road to a broad place. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not like a human being. People try to seduce their friends from life to evil things, to avodah zarah, illicit immorality. Kadosh Baruch Hu ma'asis ha'adam b'divrei misa derech chai. Kadosh Baruch Hu is ma'asis somebody to learn Torah. Shenemar va'af yisischa mipitzar migehenim shepiatzar. Hashem entices people away from Gehenim. Sha'asan at tzabur b'socha, because there's smoke there, and you're enticed away from there. So it's just the opposite of a human being. Okay. Surba tonight, 8:00.
And,
Daf Yomi tomorrow, 7 p.m.
okay.
Okay, shkoyach.
Bye.
Right.
Thank you.